everybody. This is Rod Lyman, or people call me Reiki Rod. We're going to be talking a little bit about basic Reiki. It's kind of exciting. You find out the natural healing energies of Reiki and restore your soul instantly. How exciting is that? We have a table of contents here, and you will be also receiving this ebook to follow along if you'd like. Yes. So we'll start here. Looked upon as a mysterious practice, Reiki originated from Japan around 1922, started by a Japanese Buddhist. This practice of healing basically uses the palm of an individual to emit positive healing energy into the patients. Sometimes Reiki is referred to as oriental style treatment by professional medical bodies. Yes, we have been allowed to use Reiki in different styles in hospitals and hospices and everything else. It's kind of a fun little thing to learn a little bit more about Reiki and helping people and a lot of what they do. So, introduction to Reiki, divided into two loosely termed branches. Reiki is sometimes known as Japanese Reiki and Western Reiki. And that's a fascinating thing because basics generally categorized into three main stages of expertise, such as the first degree, second degree, and third degree. A Reiki practitioner is able to heal himself or herself and also others. The second degree practitioner had the ability to heal others from distance, also known as distance healing. That's really fun. I teach that in Reiki 2, which is so much fun. We use a pyramid, we use stuffed animals and things like that. It's kind of fun to realize that you can actually send this Reiki energy out, and oh my gosh, they can feel it. Yeah. The third, the highest degree, well, there's actually ART and Master. So ART and Master kind of go hand in hand. So there is actually 4. And just in this ebook, though, it talks about the 3. And the third is the highest degree in ultimate level, where the practitioner is now thoroughly well-versed and equipped with the necessary knowledge and skill to teach and attune others and practice Reiki. Well, I teach mine Reiki 1, Reiki 2, and then ART and Master together. I keep the ART and Master together because it's basically ART is about how to set up some grids and how to do meditation and everything else, and then the Master is how to attune and learn the attunements and that. And it's a really fun class in that. Simply put, Reiki is a form of healing using the holistic concept without the use of medications of any sort. The Reiki practitioner typically places his or her hands over the individual needing the healing. The belief is that the positive energy is then drawn by the recipient to enhance the nature of healing process. There are even some seemingly bizarre claims that healing energy is self-seeking and can zero into the injury to the healing process. Well, the interesting part is that Reiki goes where it's needed. And that's what it really is about, is Reiki does go where it's needed. When it goes where it's needed, what happens is you place your hand on one area, it'll go where the actual needing is. There is such a thing as you may be in pain in one area, but there's a pain referral zone. It may be coming from another area. So Reiki will go where it is actually needed. The dominant factor in Reiki is the positive energy it is purported to emanate for healing purposes, as the energy of the practitioner is expected to be at optimal levels and, of course, ideally positive. There are certain requirements a successful Reiki practitioner needs to follow. Keeping the body and mind as pure as possible is one of the prerequisites. Well, this is interesting, because keeping the body and mind as pure as possible. It's the idea of walking the walk and talking the talk. And that's part of who you have to believe, is that there is such a thing. We do not judge. We do not be angry about things. There's Reiki principles. We have to follow these Reiki principles. And I believe that a person should really follow these principles if they're going to be a Reiki teacher. I am. I truly, truly believe that. And I try to keep everything as possible, as clean and possible as I can. Then. Some people believe that the Japanese Reiki is more focused and intuitive to specific areas that need the healing, as opposed to the Western Reiki style that generally treats the whole body. Now that's fascinating because I kind of add two parts to this. I add that Reiki experience of Western and the Reiki experience of Eastern, basically, and work it together and go in specific to the area, or we just actually just go and let the Reiki do what it needs to do. And that's something that you should learn about the universe. Energy goes where it needs to go to. And once we start fighting it, or once we start trying to control it, it ends up controlling us. So, learning about Reiki, Chapter 2. Though Reiki has been around for some time, it is only in recent times it has slowly become a viable alternative to seeking conventional medical treatments. Learning or acquiring this art form does not require extensive intellectual capacities. No, it does not. And it's interesting, it's just pure of heart, a person with pure of heart, nor does it require years of study to master. The beauty of Reiki is that it is so accessible that the tenets can be passed on from teacher to student without much discrimination. So the interesting part is that when you're attuned to something, the master is attuning you to understand and open you up. And it's basically awakening you of things that you already know. An attunement is something that is very tweaking that tuning zone so that you open up to more and exciting things in this life, in this world, which is unbelievable once you're attuned to something. Getting schooled. Yeah. Achieving the purest and the clearest mindset is the basis of Reiki because the energy needed to make a successful transfer to another individual for healing purposes consists of positive energy. Some people even connect this to being one with body and mind. Yes, oneness. I love that. Which yet some others say has a certain connection directly to God. There's so many different ways of views and ideas of this and that, and it is understanding that there is a oneness. But with this oneness, you have to also understand that the idealism that we get closer to our higher self and what dimensional grade we want to be. And I mean, it takes you way higher than you think the third and fourth and fifth dimension. It takes you beyond that. And how do you want to portray that, and how do you want to learn about that? It's just so interesting. Some people who have taken this art form very seriously attest to having psychic sensitivity. Some even claim to have the third eye capabilities, increased awareness of the surroundings, even to a molecular levels. I tell everybody it changes you on a cellular level, and if you're not ready to be changed on a cellular level, do not come to the class, because there is a huge change, and I see it every time. I see this every time I turn around and I look at these people and everything else, and I go, what is going on with this person? And it's because they're changing so much. Now, remember, there's an anger part that goes with this, because with grief, when we lose something, we start grieving. And sometimes there's anger that comes with this. And it's like, well, that's not what I wanted, blah, 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 and that. You have to remember, if you're ready for this dumpster fire and you're ready to move forward in that, this is the class that you need to take. You need to take your Reiki and start clearing the ways and making yourself more clear and more possible cleansed in so many different ways. All these serve particularly when addressing one's general health issues. The ability to harness this positive energy translates to the ability to heal and be healed. People who don't want to go through extensive Western medical style medical process sometimes find miraculous results when Reiki is around. It's just fascinating, I am practiced. I guess that's when it's not around. Reiki is an element that once learned and mastered stays with the individual for life. It is not something that can be forgotten easily. No, I mean, once you're attuned, you're always attuned. You can put it off to the side now, but our body's going to start saying, hey, we need to work on this. And you will find sometimes that the universe will push you into doing this, and it will push you hard. The successful practice of Reiki affects the body, mind, and emotions, as toxins that are stored in the body systems over time are often attributed to causing much negativity in the body. Practicing Reiki enables to release the process of being using positive energy. Understand the seriousness of negativity energy impacts enables Reiki to be an effective means of gaining optimal health conditions. However, to successfully practice Reiki, one has to be prepared to make certain lifestyle changes. These requirements all have a beneficial qualities. I tell you what, this is what I'm talking about. If you're not ready for the dumpster fire, walk away because Reiki's negative side. Well, there's a negative side? What is this? What are they talking about? To me, there's never been a negative side for Reiki, but let's find out what they have to say. As with anything in life, there's always good and bad sides. Reiki proves to be no different. Making the decision to embark on the process of acquiring Reiki skills takes time and effort, a certain amount of commitment, and is expected, which is sometimes difficult to muster in instant gratification expectation of today's society. Yes, there is no instant gratification. That, by the way, that's Buddha praying, and that with his head down, in case you didn't know what that was. What to watch for. To ensure the potential Reiki practitioner is able to garner positive energy, certain sacrifice needs to be made. Refraining from consuming meat, fowl, or fish a few days before attempting a Reiki session is a prerequisite. Now, with me, that's interesting. It's what does the body want and what does it desire? Now, yes, keeping yourself clean and pure is very important to keep an open channel, because that's what you are, is an open channel. And sometimes meat, fowl, or fish, that actually will gum you up. But remember, Reiki will actually help with that and help move in it. And so it's up to you. I think it's how you would feel, As purity is the ultimate goal when practicing Reiki, consuming food and drink items that contain drug, pesticides, toxins, and other negative ingredients are strongly forbidden. These negative elements cause the body system to be thrown off balance, and so disrupting the smooth flow of positive energy. And this is actually absolutely correct. Especially when you're about to be attuned, or you're going to a big Reiki share, or you're doing a bunch of Reiki and that, keep yourself as clean and cleansed as you can. No synthetic drugs, no drugs like marijuana or anything else should be involved with Reiki. It's a lower vibrational energy, and that positive energy cannot flow as easily with those within your body, which is kind of sad. Going on a water or just juice fast is encouraged. And this is interesting because when I teach a Reiki class, I usually talk about not ingesting a lot of different foods, not garlics or anything else than that. And because we emanate energy in the smell of our body, what we ate usually, and it's really interesting to watch people go through this and go, oh my gosh, you're right. I can smell what you ate last night. It's because we're purging in a sense, and we're pulling all this toxins out of our body. And so minimizing caffeine intake or cutting it out altogether is also required. These elements also create imbalance in the nervous and endocrine system. Other things to avoid at least 3 days before practicing a Reiki session are alcohol, sweets, and smoking. Now, this is interesting. Back when I smoked, and that I used smoking more as a gift, and saying, I gift you this, and I do this, and I do that. And it's a very exciting thing for me to say you are gifted, the smoking that I'm not a drinker, but yet I do have a sweet tooth. But using Cristo in the left hand of acceptance and that, I've actually lowered my sweet intake, and which is awesome. We're always in work process, and that even though I've been doing this for many years, we're still in a work process. Keeping a quiet and peaceful lifestyle is also encouraged. However, this may prove to be difficult in the fast-paced surrounding of everyday life. Reducing the exposure to outside negative elements is also necessary. Thus, watching TV. No watching TV. Just throw your TV out. Seriously, it's nothing but bad. Don't watch TV. Now, there's Gaia TV. There's things that are beautiful on TV, and that I only watch wonderful, beautiful things. I sometimes watch cartoons because it is brainless and I don't have to think too hard in it. Keep away from all other negative mental states like anger, fear, jealousy, hate, worry are important, as these emotions can block a person from achieving a successful Reiki session. Fear, jealousy, hate, and worry. Think about this. These are things that you have to stop from. If you look at a person and this person is a light worker and you see fear, or you see anger, or you see jealousy or hate within this person, that is probably somebody not to be around. This is somebody that you probably should stay away from. We don't walk the walk and talk the talk when you carry that anger, fear, jealousy, and hate around. Worry also, somebody that's always worried about something, that just understand that that's a blockage and that you have to allow that to flow through. It's something beautiful, though, that when you find a person that just is calm and loving and caring, that they have beautiful energy that flow through constantly in that. In some extreme cases, Reiki practitioners tend to take themselves and others simply because they consider those around them a full negative energy, which they don't want to be connected to. And you got to understand, some of the stuff I can't read because it's not very clear on my end. It's very small and that, but I tend to stay to myself. I have very few friends. I stay within my friends' level, and I like to recharge a lot, and that is huge for me to just say I love to recharge, and I do that a lot. I just recharge when I have to. Find out one is suffering from a certain disease. This is Chapter 4, Considering Reiki for Health. Find out some is suffering from certain disease can be frightening. Then to be bombarded with a lot of procedures and processes and already successful states. Besides all this, having to choose from the various options and availability for the treatment of the said health problems can be quite confusing, to say the least. A mind opener when it's easy and non-invasive option is available, coupled with a possible health recovery tag. Most people are keen to explore these avenues of healing. However, embarking on the Reiki style of treatment should never be the extensive and discontinue of all other current medications or other ongoing medical procedures. Yes, do not stop your doctoring. Still do it. Sorry. Don't. Reiki does not replace your medical doctor or the medications or anything else in that. They work hand in hand, and then after a while, you can see a huge improvement to the point where your doctor may slowly take you off of your medication. Reiki is a holistic style of treatment which is meant at its early stage to complement any pre-existing treatment. It's just what we just said. And that Reiki energy is meant to be according to a particular area, needing the positive energy. Prior diagnosis and prescriptions are unnecessary. Besides using unnecessary, it is also unethical to make any such recommendations. You will not find a Reiki practitioner that will make such recommendations of taking you off your medication. If you do, walk away. We are not, MDs. We're not the person that can prescribe our kind of assess your medical situation. Now, there is medical intuition around, which I do have that, and make suggestions, but we will never say, I will never say, you need to get off this, you need to get off this, you need to get off this. These are things that you have to figure out, and I will plant the seeds in some way or another, but I will never, ever tell you to go off your medication or off of your already what the doctor has been working with you on. That will never happen. People's severe medical conditions have made claims of certain percentage of success after using Reiki as an added complementing healing feature. The positive energy emanate from the Reiki practitioner unto the recipient is often noted as very calming and helpful. This is positive energy flowing through the recipient's body. Some of the medically impaired elements can be, to a certain extent, if continued for a longer period of time, it is even possible to eradicate the element altogether. Yes, the element altogether. It is possible. Like I just said, it's everything's possible. For the individual that takes his or her health for granted, it does not really take precautions to keep a healthy diet and lifestyle. Taking up Reiki can be a turning point to a better understanding and importance of good health and mind conditions. Yes, it is. Chapter 5, Solving Problems the Reiki Way. Almost everyone who has had some encounters with the Reiki world of positive energy practices sings its praises, told it to be a beautiful and calming practice. Many believe it is one art form that the world at large can benefit from being exposed to it. Yes, it is. It's so beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of beauty that goes along with Reiki, and it's something that's will open you up, and you actually see so much more in your life than you've ever seen before, and it's very beneficial, and I love it. A lot of the benefits that most diseases, mind conditions, and even the abuse of environment has been linked to negative elements at one time or another. The practice of Reiki can be some extent element eliminate this negative aspect of energy and replace it with positive energy. Reiki's positive energy addresses the mind, body, and the surroundings that connect it all together. We are all one. We are all connected. And think of the reverberation of one glass or something when you hit it and you hear that tinging noise, and that the higher the tinging noise, that you can actually make others vibrate too. So when you vibrate at a higher practice and higher positively, and that, it's going to be very catchy, and people are going to want to be around you, and they're going to want to have that positive aspect too, and that. But then we also have people that kind of fall away if they can't maintain that positive energy. Like I said, if you're not ready for this dumpster fire and you're not ready to make some changes in your life, this is not the time to take Reiki. But it is a time for a lifestyle change. It really is. When the state of mind is trained to always be positive, a lot of good can be achieved and even transcend into surroundings. Besides the thought process, the Reiki style of transferring positive energy into another can help create a better state of actual mental health. Headaches, migraines, stress, and other brain-related problems can be successfully addressed with the positive energy of Reiki. Okay, so considered to be relatively free, a Reiki art of transferring positive energy also works with applied to address ailments in the body. The positive Reiki energy is used to flush out any negative energy, which can be contributing to the ill health of an individual. Yes, so in with the good, out with the bad. And that's why I talked about that toxins start coming out of you. You can smell it, you can see it, you can feel it, and that you feel lighter after a Reiki session. It's just a beautiful thing, and you'll be cleansed and cleared, and it's a lot of good stuff. Reiki positive energy transfers does not involve any amount of pain or discomfort. In fact, most people have attested to experiencing a comforting, warming feeling, in some cases cause such relaxation that dozing off during the session is not unusual. I have a lot of people that snore. I do. They snore during it. So I know that they're in a very deep transition, and I love it. Reiki has also been known for its distance healing abilities. This unusual feature is another advantage of those seeking this type of healing to complement an ongoing medical regimen. An experienced Reiki practitioner can transfer positive energy through a quiet meditation and quite successfully. Very beautiful. Set in peace. So let's go down here to chapter 6. The more advantages of Reiki. Reiki is an ancient form of harnessing positive energy from one source and transferring it onto another for healing purposes. Practicing Reiki brings many advantages to the individual's life, and more popular and common benefits from practicing Reiki are relief from mental and physical stress, relaxation, comfort in the body and mind, and surrounding and peace, to name a few things. A few more advantages. There's also other little known advantages to practicing Reiki, though none any less beneficial. Some Reiki practitioners practice this art form to induce spiritual clarity in offering the relief needed during emotional distress and sorrow. Reiki helps one to be more connected to the center of one's spiritual, thus preventing the state of mind and body to feel totally drained. Reiki also works to relieve pain while improving the general blood circulation through the body. That's really important to know and really understand that there is the touching of the hands and everything else, and they're making the connection, having an anchor and giving and receiving, that creates such a positive aspect and positive connection. It's awesome. It's beautiful. In doing so, Reiki can also contribute to stoppage of small bleeding wounds. Some Reiki practitioners also attest that the benefits of cleansing elements Reiki can affect the liver, arteries, spleen, gallbladder, and lungs. There are many other illnesses and ailments that the Reiki has been found to play a positive role when introducing as complementary therapy to ongoing medical procedures or medications. Some of these medical conditions have to be endured and considered pain before Reiki was introduced to bring the much needed relief, at least from pain enduring angles. Some medical conditions are generally linked to some kind of imbalance, and Reiki has also been positive in the road in that area. Medical conditions such as chronic and acute nosebleeds, chronic insomnia, depression, menopause, and to name a few, where Reiki has very been positive benefit. It has been. It's been a positive benefit in a lot of people's life. Reiki has also been known to be used to speed up recovery process after surgery. The positive energy transfer helps to bring about a positive and quick recovery without the use of further any medication. Chapter 7, using Reiki effectively. When undergoing a treatment for a particular medical condition, the individual often has to contend with various other negative elements. These added negative elements further stress the mind, body, and individual, and may sometimes cause more complications than best slow recovery rate. Reiki helps that. Calming your body down and just allowing it to heal on its own without putting stress on it is something that you should really practice. Quieting the mind and letting your body do its healing, because it will heal fast, and Reiki helps that. Putting into action, some people have found that by adding the use of Reiki to their ongoing medical regimen, positive results have been noticed. Such noticeable positive results range from fast recovering and actually cutting down to some medication that are no longer needed to treat the medical condition due to positive energy garnered from Reiki. Ideally, Reiki should be practiced for a reasonable amount of time before some positive results can be expected. In doing so, one can also feel the changes in other areas, such as the new mental capacity brought in by the positive energy. In order to benefit the Reiki effectively, the exercise of transferring positive energy must be done with the recipient's cooperation in illness to explore the style of healing. A positive mind is set almost prerequisite to the success of Reiki exercise. Now, I want to just explain something here. You guys have to understand that there is uh, something when we start forgetting or we can't say something because we can't remember, and that it usually has to do with the negativity that is in around us and the energy. Um, if you have a bad memory or whatever else in that, it means that there's some negativity within us that you need to explore and probably get rid of in that and create a positive aspect. There are probably things that you don't like about yourself or something that you need to really look at. And Reiki is something that will actually bring that out. And it's beautiful. Many scientific researchers today are willing to acknowledge the power of positive energy when it is used for healing potential. Scientists are often a skeptical bunch in this sort of acknowledgement to be forthcoming and proves that Reiki can be beneficial to in helping the healing process. Some even go as far as to say the positive element is permanently contained in every individual, and learning to tap into this energy has a high potential in guarding one's health. The best way to use Reiki for the purpose of healing is simply to gain holistically health state of body and mind to experience the process itself. As there are no known side effects, Reiki is considered safe, enduring to embark upon. Chapter 8. Other treatment benefits of Reiki. Every day there are new discoveries in the medical field, some encouraging while others aren't. Yet others may have quite costly and to even consider. So when a discovery like Reiki comes to light, it can be a blessing to many needed type of promising relief, which is beautiful. Additional discoveries, though Reiki has been around for a long time and practiced successfully in many ancient cultures, mostly Asian, it is fast gaining popularity with the younger set of people. Yes, it is. Some athletes have obtained the use of the method of healing to complement their ongoing medical treatments with astounding results. I have had many athletes in here. I worked with quite a few pro athletes in my structural work and also in Reiki. And interesting is that a lot of people consider that it is like an energy chiropractor, and it will actually straighten you out in a lot of ways because it's positive energy, it's positive information, and it's positive reinforcements in a body. And when you're holding something within you tightly and you start releasing, let it go, your body goes back into a balance, and it's beautiful to watch. Using the positive energy Reiki style treatment is based upon the counteract of negative elements of the energy, and the healing process of many athletes today have taken on faster pace. Adding to this impartially faster healing time frame is a better than before condition of the injury affected area. Some new breakthroughs have also been made with the usage of Reiki in areas of AIDS disease, such as caused untold misery to many individuals. This promising state of using Reiki as a positive energy to combat all negative elements brought on by the AIDS disease is encouraging many people to try out Reiki. And that's when this was written. It was been written a while back, and that, but AIDS was a really big thing right back there. It still is, but it was something that positive reinforcements and positive acts. Even talked by Louise Hayes that there is when you use beautiful, loving, positive energy, healing starts, and it keeps healing, which is beautiful, and it has seen many help in AIDS patients. Distance healing using the Reiki technique is another effective way of healing an ailment, as it is not always convenient to even possible to be by a patient's side for various reasons. Obtaining the use of Reiki is not only currently widely practiced, but also touted to just as effective in providing much needed relief in healing. Some people have practiced Reiki for long periods of time and have seen, documented, and promoting this style of healing for pets. Yes, Reiki Furbies. I love giving Reiki to animals. I love that. That's how I actually started, was working with horses and that. And I love that. I love the hands-on work with horses and larger animals. It's beautiful. In trying to seek the best treatment for a beloved pet, some individual had turned to Reiki for a non-invasive and gentle style of treatment. There's also many reported cases success with style does not further stress an already unwell pet. Giving pet love is probably the best thing you could ever give to help an animal through, because unconditional love is the most healing thing you could ever do and see. Chapter 9, what to look for when choosing Reiki. If one of the midst of making a decision to embark upon Reiki experience, if you would be prudent to first find out as much as possible about the art form, that's what this book is about, is talking a little bit more about it. But here's some things to consider, some of the areas suggested to be looked into before making relevant choices, like where, when, who, are as follows. Take a look at all the Reiki benefits. We talked about the treatment process, the Reiki credentials, which is important. What level is your master from and everything else. And we're coming from a source of the 5th generation with me, in which I love that. There's a generational, but it's not important to me. Treatment rates, can you afford it? Some are really outrageously expensive, and that is it worth it when it's just a transference of energy, of love? Well, it's up to you. Can you afford it? What can you afford? Cheaper doesn't means it's less or better, or lesser than more expensive. It doesn't mean that. Credited Reiki practitioners, Reiki workshops and testimonials, possible tools and materials. There's a lot of different things. When doing the necessary research, it should be noted that surfing the net for a specific need takes time and patience. When it comes to the subject Reiki, there's not only a lot of information available, but some of this information can be quite contradictory. Yep. You have to understand that the ideas and philosophies, there's research practice that is going to change from person to person, though confusing at times. The various testimonials available to a person can make informed decisions. Using the internet to help locate near a suitable center, blah, blah, blah. You gotta love your master, because he's going to be around for a while, or she's going to be around for a while. You should note that if, maybe go see the practitioner, or have a session with the practitioner and see what it's like. See if is a way to you guys do connect, and there's a connection there. The Reiki style makes it possible to use this art from a treat the body and mind without necessarily having the angle of healing in mind. Reiki can just be used individually to create a positive atmosphere. Yep. Create that positive atmosphere. That's one of my favorite things in this world to do. Is I love to go into places and just create a positive atmosphere. The pitfalls of not using Reiki. Most illness or ailments today require some form of invasion medical attention. When the individual first discovers the possible negative health condition, the anxiety levels. We're just going to talk about this. Being a practitioner, a Reiki practitioner, is that you with. I always tell my students this: with great power comes great responsibility. And remember, people look at you, if you're the master in that, and they look at you to have things put together, and not have negativity around you, or not believe the negativity around you. It's something that you have to understand, that Reiki is an art form that you look up to, and you have to know that there's a certain type of dogma, which I don't like, but about Reiki practitioners is being calm, quiet, loving, and only to speak of love, because Reiki is love. Rei, the REI, is about universal, and Ki is energy. So it's just universal energy, and that's all it is. Reiki is universal energy. So I want you to take your time. I want you to look into what you want. Book a session with a master and see if that's something that you would like to do. Maybe learn a little bit more about when their next classes are. It's just learn a little bit about yourself too, and that because you're loved and I am blessed. My name is Reiki Rod, and I love you. And I hope to see you guys soon. You can check me out on ReikiRod.com and on Facebook, Doc Lyman. Have a great day. Bye-bye.